Coming up, brothers from America's greatest generation.
It was a very uneasy period for everybody.
With America under attack.
And this is going to be over by spring. And we found out we were wrong.
They answered the call to serve.
Everybody wanted to do what they could for the war effort.
We salute our veterans.
We were treated first class everywhere we went.
On today's 700 Club.
Well, welcome to the 700 Club. It's Veterans Day, of which I am one, and we're just glad to salute the veterans who have served our country in various arduous positions in war and peace all over the world. And we have two special guests in our audience. They're brothers who are both veterans of World War II. And gentlemen, we're glad to have you with us. And one, Jim Evans, is 96 years old, and his brother Sam is 93. And we'll be telling you their compelling story of sacrifice and service to our country.
That's right. But first in the news, the Republican presidential candidates took on the economy, foreign policy, and each other as they had some very sharp disagreements in last night's presidential debate. David Brody brings us the story from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
You were against putting troops on
the GOP candidates sparred in their most substantive debate so far in this election cycle, with the economy taking center stage, from discussing the tax code.
The current system isn't fair. Washington is fundamentally corrupt. There are more words in the IRS code than there are in the Bible. And not a one of them is as good.
To building a stronger middle class.
For the life of me, I don't know why we have stigmatized vocational education. Welders make more money than philosophers. We need more welders and less philosophers.
The biggest clash came when Rand Paul questioned Marco Rubio's desire to push for a larger child tax credit, in addition to more defense spending.
The point that I'd like to make about the tax credits, we have to decide what is conservative and what isn't conservative. Is it fiscally conservative to have $1 trillion expenditure?
And yes, I do want to rebuild the American military.
How's it conservative?
I know that Rand is a committed isolationist. I'm not. I believe the world is a stronger and a better place when the United States is the strongest military power in the world.
Marco, how is it conservative? How is it conservative to add $1 trillion expenditure for the federal government?
There were also disagreements on topics like immigration. Trump wants to deport all illegal immigrants.
We either have a country or we don't have a country. We are a country of laws. Going to have to go out, and they'll come back, but they're going to have to go out, and hopefully they get back.
But if people think that we are going to ship 11 million people who are law-abiding, who are in this country, and somehow pick them up at their house and ship them out of Mexico to Mexico, think about the families. Think about the children. It's a silly argument. It's not an adult argument. It makes no sense.
I can say.
On foreign policy, Trump believes we should stay out of Syria and let Vladimir Putin and Russian forces fight over there.
We can't continue to be the policeman of the world.
Donald is wrong on this. He is absolutely wrong on this. We're not going to be the world's policeman, but we sure as heck better be the world's leader. There's a huge difference where without us leading, voids are filled.
Carly Fiorina took the opportunity to say how she would show Putin America's muscle.
I would start rebuilding the 6th Fleet right under his nose, rebuilding the missile defense program in Poland right under his nose. I would conduct very aggressive military exercises in the Baltic states so that he understood we would protect our NATO allies and would-be allies.
As for top-tier candidate Ben Carson, he addressed the swirling controversy over the media vetting process and how they're trying to find any little thing to take him down.
I have no problem with being vetted. What I do have a problem with is being lied about. But, you know, when I look at somebody like Hillary Clinton, who sits there and tells her daughter and a government official that, no, this was a terrorist attack, and then tells everybody else that it was a video. Where I came from, they call that a lie.
Now that this debate in Milwaukee is complete, the next one comes more than a month from now in Las Vegas in mid-December. And in this presidential race that's turned into a soap opera, that gives plenty of time for a lot of twists and turns. David Brody, CBN News in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Thanks, David. I don't know how many of you watched that debate, but I think that the guys from Fox and the editor of the Wall Street Journal were superb moderators. They brought out a lot of substance, and they gave the guys a chance to really discuss these issues that are very important to the American people. And I frankly think all of the Republicans did well. I think as a group, they acquitted themselves very admirably. And so what the American people are saying here is a team of men and one woman who are capable of being the next president or vice president or secretary of state or whatever. And I think the brand of republicanism is going up because of debates like this. And the one with the CNBC's was a disaster, but this one was very well done, and I commend them. So on next Wednesday, by the way, we'll have our second interview in our series of discussions with presidential candidates. It'll be my pleasure to talk to my good friend of many years, John Kasich, and he will sit down with me at Regent University in front of a live audience, and we'll bring you highlights on next Thursday's 700 Club. We've also invited other candidates as well, and I think along the way, I know Cruz and Rubio will be with us, and others as well. Well, in other news, if a Republican wins the White House, he or she will have to deal with President Obama's actions on climate change. Ephraim Graham has that story.
Pat, President Obama appears to be looking to secure his legacy on climate change, and rejecting the Keystone XL oil pipeline from Canada to the U.S. is his most recent step to lead that effort against global warming. Caitlin Burke has that story.
It's a decision 7 years in the making.
The State Department has decided that the Keystone XL pipeline would not serve the national interests of the United States. I agree with that decision.
President Obama said he would block the pipeline if it would make climate change worse. His administration determined that it wouldn't. He blocked it anyway because of the perception that it would carry dirty oil.
Shipping dirtier crude oil into our country would not increase America's energy security. What has increased America's energy security is our strategy over the past several years to reduce our reliance on dirty fossil fuels from unstable parts of the world.
With a powerful international climate treaty set to be finalized early next month, the president appears to be trying to lock in his environmental legacy. Some of Obama's other executive steps to reduce greenhouse gases include his limits on carbon dioxide emissions from U.S. power plants and ramping up fuel efficiency standards for cars and trucks. But those regulations and the treaty itself could face a difficult future in a Republican-controlled Congress, which is concerned about how they hurt the economy. Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
So, Pat, was this good news for the environment?
It's terrible news for the environment. If you really care about the environment and not some photo op, the Canadians are going to produce those oil sands, those tar sand oil. And what are they going to do with them? They were going to ship them on a secure pipe down to the Gulf of Mexico, where United States refineries, using the most up-to-date technology, would then refine them into gasoline and other products. But that's not going to happen because the president wants to be looked at as a climate warrior. So the Canadians are going to say, okay, we're going to put this crude not in a pipeline, but in rail cars, and we're going to ship those rail cars hundreds and hundreds of miles through cities, through towns, possibility that they'll have a wreck or blow up, and we'll put them through there, and then we'll put them onto freighters, tankers, out in the Pacific Ocean, and they will be shipped across the water to China, where the crude will be processed in very dirty Chinese plants, which will be spewing out noxious gases to the air, which we will one day breathe. Now, that's what the president is doing, and this business about him being a climate warrior is utter nonsense. This is strictly for the media. It is a hype, just like that stuff that's going on in the Middle East. It is not for reality. It is for press release, and maybe that guy that stands at the podium and gives those crazy justifications for the administration's actions. maybe he'll have something to talk about. But I think he'd be holding his breath and thinking, they're making me lie, but I've got to do it because I'm getting a paycheck. Ephraim.
Pat, today, some long-awaited good news in the fight against trafficking. A national report card shows more states are getting A's and B's this year in recognition of new anti-trafficking laws. As Heather Sells shows us, those laws have improved dramatically in just the last 4 years.
Shared Hope International began grading states on their anti-trafficking laws in 2011. Simply put, the states bombed, with failing grades going to more than half. In just 4 years, state lawmakers have responded, passing laws that impose heavy penalties on both traffickers and buyers. This year, Shared Hope gave half the states A's and B's, and not one state failed.
A lot of that is due to grassroots activities. Public awareness has increased significantly over the years.
Two bright spots include North Dakota and Montana. In recent years, the booming oil industry brought in more than 100,000 workers to the Bakken region, and crime spiked in both states. That led Shared Hope to fail North Dakota and Montana back in 2011. Today, their grades have improved to a B and an A.
With improved laws and greater enforcement, buyers and traffickers become aware that this is a much riskier endeavor to engage in, and it will deter demand and trafficking.
What's still needed across the board, help for victims, especially in the areas of protection and services. Shared Hope wants all states to strive for A's and B's so that traffickers will not be able to simply move their operations. Heather Sells, CBN News.
And here tomorrow on the 700 Club, Heather will have a report on the shelters here in America that are helping victims of trafficking. Pat?
Well, I appreciate that very much. And listen, Regent University has got a Center for Global Justice training lawyers how to deal with these things in the courts, not only in America, but overseas. You see, the thing that we have done, the trafficker takes these poor girls and puts them into these situations, forces them, beats them, starves them, abuses them, and then puts them out on the street to sell themselves. And the police pick up the girls and put them in prison. They've already been in prison. And the thing that is needed, and that's what this report shows, is the people who need to get serious penalties are the traffickers. I have no patience whatsoever for these global traffickers. They're obscene, they're vicious, they're evil, and if we could do so legally, I think there'd be no compunction in my part whatsoever in gunning them down like dirty dogs. They're awful. What they do to these women is beyond belief, and it is strictly for money, and it turns out that selling a girl over and over again is a whole lot more profitable than selling heroin or cocaine or crack or any of these other drugs. So they go to prostitution and they import these girls. And I remember I was over in Thailand and went to an orphanage that we were helping and met a young girl. She was about 17, and she was there. And I said, "What's the deal?" Well, the traffickers would come up from Bangkok and they would offer the parents a color TV set or a refrigerator in exchange for their daughter. And that's what, and she knew that they were going to sell her, and so she ran away and went to this place where she could be cared for. But that's the kind of thing we're dealing with, a refrigerator or a color TV in exchange for a human being. Ephraim?
Heartbreaking. In health news, another warning about how deadly obesity can be. Obese children as young as age 8 can develop signs of heart abnormalities. The lead author of the study says that could increase their chances for an early death when they become adults. Although it is possible those problems might be reversible as the kids grow up, it's possible there could be permanent damage as well. Health Day reports the study also suggested obese children even younger than 8 could have signs of heart disease too. Pat, this is still another story that shows just how important it is that we as parents watch what our children eat.
You know, the thing of it is they don't watch. They stuff the kids. I'm a good mother because I have forced 2 bowls of Fruit Loops down my son's throat, and therefore he is going to be healthy. Well, don't believe it. Listen, parents, that kid can't eat anything that you don't give him. He can't get in the car and drive to the store. If he's 6 years old, he's yours, and you could decide what he eats. And all you've got to do, I know my son Gordon's children, they love fruit. And they get fresh fruit, and they get vegetables, and that kind of thing. I mean, it's so healthy. And kids will love this stuff. They aren't born wanting junk food, but we train them to like junk food. And then we think what good parents we are. No way. Well, I had the privilege of interviewing Bear Grylls when he was on this show several years ago. And now he has a reality show about survival. But this lovely lady who sits beside me right now decided she wanted to learn how to eat bugs and and crickets and snakes and whatever.
And live off the land.
Did you do that?
Well, for a weekend. I did. It was fun.
That's weird. I thought you were a pretty normal kid. I mean, I can't believe it.
Well,
you like that.
I like it. Well, up next, join me for a wilderness survival experience where I got a real taste of the great outdoors. Okay, I can't believe I'm doing this, but in a survival situation, this little roach would be a great source of fat and carbohydrates. And I'll let you know how that went down and much more right after this. Imagine your car breaks down in a remote area and you're all alone. Or you're hiking and you suddenly become lost and your cell phone isn't working. That happened to me. Well, would you panic or would you be prepared to survive until rescue comes? With all the hiking I do, I decided it was time to take a wilderness survival course to make sure I know the basics of survival. And hopefully after this, you will too.
Welcome to Mountain Shepherd's Wilderness Survival School, located in the beautiful and rugged mountains of Southwest Virginia. Here, Reggie and Dina Bennett train military and regular folks how to survive the worst-case scenarios and live to tell about them. The Bennetts focus on 7 main survival skills: positive mental attitude, first aid, shelter, firecraft, signaling, water, and food. Most people think that finding food and water are their top priorities in a survival situation. But actually, it's building a safe and secure shelter like the one behind me that should be your first order of business.
Because the environment is going to do you in a lot quicker than most anything else.
Reggie, a former U.S. Air Force survival instructor, showed us how to take a simple plastic sheet you can buy almost anywhere, a piece of sturdy string, and in no time, you've got shelter.
What's great about plastic is very forgiving. Even if it's not perfect, it's still going to work for you.
And this time of year, the forest floor gives you all the stuffing you need to make a comfy mattress. CBN videographer Rachel Hooley and I were determined not only to make our own shelter, but to sleep in it. Hey, it's working. Hey! I'm very excited about our mattress tonight. Look at this. This is going to be better than a hotel. Well, we are here, snug as a bug, in our tent. Here's Rachel.
Hello.
How does it feel?
It's cozier than I thought it would be.
It rained during the night, but our shelter kept us warm and dry. Another vital part of survival, especially in winter, is fire. Fire serves a number of purposes other than simply keeping you warm. It allows you to cook, boil water for drinking, keep bugs and predators away, acts as a signaling device, and supports the #1 survival skill, keeping a positive mental attitude.
But what would happen if I threw that right on my tender? What would I be doing to tender? I'd smother it. So see, this is where the platform and brace comes in. You put the brace next to your platform like this, right next to the tender. Then you take your first kindling, bunch it up nice and tight, and you set that right over top the fire. If you see any smoke, it's saying, Reggie, I need oxygen. And all you have to do is just lift the brace up.
I chose the flint and steel method to make my fire I used a cotton ball smothered in petroleum jelly as my tinder. Vaseline, hand sanitizer, even chapstick makes a cheap and easy accelerant in an emergency situation.
So if you come out into the woods and you don't have an accelerant to start your fire, you can simply take a very sharp knife and scrape it and create what's called like a fluff, which makes excellent tinder.
Fellow survival classmate Sage was successful using just fluff from the wood and a fire starter to get her blaze going. Now for one of the most important elements of survival, water. The average person can only survive about 3 days without water. You can survive 3 weeks or more without food.
Your body is about 75 to 80% water. So you are going to get dehydrated really quick if you don't keep sipping that water. Remember what we say here at our school, ration your sweat, not your water.
If you're in a situation where you don't have water purification tablets and cannot boil the water, try to find the entry place where the spring is coming out of the mountain, like this one.
The water's coming out of the ground right there. See it? So it's being filtered through this ridge, hits this area, and comes out right there.
This provides your best chance of drinking the water before it's contaminated by animals and other bacteria. And last on the list, but not least for most of us, is food. Reggie showed us how to make a squirrel trap with a simple piece of wire.
And I'm just going to funnel him right into my snare.
This time of year, edible plants are scarce. Fortunately, the forest provides plenty of edible bugs. The best way to eat any insect is to cook it. Worms, grubs, termites, crickets, and beetles are your best bet. Although today, we went for what we could find, the popular wood roach.
Oh, look at this! It's a buffet. See, I told you when you find one, you usually find a huge family.
So in a survival situation, if we were really hungry, this wood roach would be an excellent source of what?
Of the fats, the carbohydrates that you need in a survival situation.
Okay.
Which you're not going to get from plants. So I'm not saying don't go after plants, but these are readily available. They're all over the world. If you use those rules that I taught you, this is what you need.
Okay, so we're going to roast them. All
okay,
right.
So we just roast them, because they could have a parasite on there. So get them down there in the flames.
Nice and cooked. Okay, I can't believe I'm doing this, but in a survival situation, this little roach would be a great source of fat and carbohydrates. Tastes like a nut.
Yeah, like I knew.
It tastes like a really tasty nut.
Yeah. So
wow, very nutty.
So you've just got over those food aversions, and now you're going to survive.
Reggie,
all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My first nut, my first bug, rather, that tasted like a nut.
You were just saying that to hype this thing, did you? Was it really like that good?
It actually tasted pretty good.
Did it taste good?
I can't believe I'm saying that because it was roach, but I've tasted a lot worse stuff. That was not bad.
I've eaten a fried scorpion in China, so I know how.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah.
It was probably the most organic thing I had all week. You know, that little bug just living on
Well, what do you got in front of you
Well,
here?
if you're going into a survival situation, Pat, these are some things that Mountain Shepherd recommends. Okay, first of all, you've got to have a good knife. Your knife is like your number 1 survival priority because it does so many things. You know, it does so many things. Then if you're going to be, if you can get a Blaze Orange trash bag. This is just a trash bag. You can order it online, and they have them around this time of year. You can cut a hole in the top, make a rain poncho. You can also use this for a quick shelter. And also, because it's Blaze Orange, it might help you in rescue.
All right.
If you can keep a little fire starter, and these are little fire starter tablets. These make a quick fire. A whistle and a reflector mirror, great for rescue.
Oh, really?
Great, yeah. And of course, you want to keep a little first aid kit. This has a quick cloth and also ibuprofen and bandages and all those things. And you know, and something to nibble on because you don't know how long you're going to be out there unless you want to eat bugs. And this bag is great because it holds a lot of water. It's waterproof and has a little flashlight. Also, and you can get this. Well, you can get this at Mountain Shepherd's website. And so, and it's very lightweight. And if you just keep this in your car, keep it in your backpack, and it doesn't add that much weight, then you're going to be all set.
The average person watching this show, when would something like this ever happen?
Well, you know, Reggie was saying, like, the folks down in Texas that were going through that massive flooding, they could have used some things like, you know, they didn't have running water. Some of them didn't have heat, so they would have need some of these items as well. So it's, you know, this is modern survival for the modern world.
If you got caught in a snowstorm, you know, I know what it's like being a four-wheel drive vehicle and have it high-centered in the snow. You couldn't go, you couldn't drive. You
Absolutely, your car could get stuck, and you could be out in the middle of nowhere. So it's just, you know, better safe than sorry. And so these are just a few of the items, and I have more information about how you can survive in the wilderness and about the Mountain Shepherd Survival School and how you can get the survival kit, and you can get that by going to cbnnews.com. So
you want to climb the Himalayas? You want to go up?
Well, what do you do after Kilimanjaro, Pat? I mean,
what do you do next?
You know, so I'm kind of looking for my next adventure.
Mount Everest.
Weekend in the wilderness was nice.
You really like this?
I love it.
It's great.
I love it. Yeah, camping.
I love camping. I used to, you know, what little bit of camping I did, I really enjoyed it. Of course, the time that I had a little beagle dog with me.
Yeah.
And we were in a tent, my wife and I and somebody other. One of our children, we heard this awful racket outside, and my little beagle dog had jumped a skunk. And I looked outside in horror, and here was this little white thing up in the air, the little skunk's tail.
Oh, my goodness.
And my little dog was...
Did it smell? Did it
well, fortunately, the little skunk just scurried on away and left him alone. But that, I mean, I don't know what you do with a dog in a tent that's been sprayed by a skunk. But in any event, that was my wilderness adventure.
Well, that's fun. Well,
this is what, but where do you get this stuff again?
You go to it's called the Mountain Shepherd Wilderness School, and they are online. And we also have a link to their website.
Shepherd,
and you can get the get this and also sign up for their courses.
Well, that's very portable. You didn't weigh much at all. You could.
Oh no, just a few ounces. Doesn't hardly weigh anything at all. So
well. Better safe than sorry.
Amen.
All right, what else?
Well, coming up, two brothers from the greatest generation who both fought to defend our freedom.
Oh, Japanese country, we're going to whip them in a hurry. And this is going to be over by spring.
Everybody had the same patriotic feeling. Nobody tried to jump ship.
Stay tuned as we honor two American heroes, Jim and Sam, after this. Welcome back to the 700 Club. Today is November 11th, Veterans Day, an official United States federal holiday set aside to honor the men and women who have served in the United States Armed Forces. Right now, you're about to see the story of two veterans, both brothers, that served during World War II. They're both in their 90s, active and spry, and they're extraordinary examples of what has come to be known as the greatest generation.
It's been 70 years since World War II came to a close.
The war is over. Peace has come.
Less than 1 million of the 16 million Americans who served in the war are alive to tell about it. But it took the efforts and sacrifices of an entire generation to bring America victory. A fact made clear at this VE Day commemoration.
We are here today to salute those of the World War II generation who helped save the world from tyranny.
They're often referred to as America's greatest generation. Recently, we spoke with two of them, brothers Jim and Sam Evans. Jim is the older of the two. The spry 96-year-old starts his day with his companion of many years, a chocolate lab named Easy.
He's my buddy. I've got to keep him around. He wakes me up every morning.
Sam will soon turn 94. His daily routine starts with a pot of coffee. They grew up in the Navy town of Norfolk, Virginia. They both remember the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Jim was with a buddy who served in the Navy.
And it came over the radio, and it instructed him to get back to the ship. I think everybody was mad about it. I don't think anybody had any fear of it. It was very uneasy period for everybody.
Oh, Japanese country, we're going to whip them in a hurry. And this is going to be over by spring. and we found out we were wrong.
They soon found out that the trade skills their dad taught them would be critical in the war effort.
Fortunately, the kind of raising Jim and I got, we could do electrical work and machine shop work and welding and engine repairs, and there wasn't anything we wanted to do.
Sam volunteered for the Coast Guard in May of 1942. He served as a machinist until the end of the war.
I was part of the Admiral's staff, except just to be there, to be the machinist, to repair anything on that flotilla that went bad.
Even behind the lines, there was always uncertainty and danger, especially on a small island off the coast of Iwo Jima. Sam says that his faith in God carried him through that time.
I couldn't have got along without it.
Jim worked in the naval shipyard for most of the war. Like millions of other American civilians, he felt he did his part to support the country.
Everybody wanted to do what they could for the war effort. Those that could bought war bonds and worked in the defense industry everywhere they could. I was in the Navy Yard. I worked 7 days a week, and for a long period it was 12 hours a day.
Jim joined the Navy in 1944 and was aboard the newly repaired USS California when she returned to Pearl Harbor.
It was a flotilla of 4 battleships and 10 destroyers and DE boats for escorts. All the battleships had been sunk at Pearl and raised and repaired on the West Coast, and they all were sent back at the same time. We weren't supposed to be on deck, but I sneaked up and got a chance to see the big guns fired. Everybody had the same patriotic feeling. Nobody tried to jump ship.
Finally, the war was over, and millions of servicemen and women returned home. For many, there was little fanfare.
I don't remember any recognition when I came home.
Nobody paid any attention to it. There were so many people coming home, and you just couldn't have a parade for every group that came in.
Not ones to complain, they went on with their lives. Sam married Ollie Mae, had 3 children, and enjoyed 64 years of marriage before her death. Later, he married Margaret, who passed away in 2013. Jim, who's also a widower, was married nearly 60 years to Annie. They had 2 children and 6 grandchildren. Today, the Evans brothers are doing just fine. Both are still taking care of themselves, living in their own homes, and working in their shops. Sam can still handle a lathe and fix all manner of things. After 89 years, Jim is still running the family business, with Easy by his side.
The doctor and everybody told me whatever I'm doing to keep doing it, and I like my work and I don't want to retire.
It's that same spirit that reminds us of the valor and sacrifices of the millions of Americans who worked and fought for our freedom, which isn't free.
One of the reasons we admire and love that generation so much is not only what they did for us between 1941 and 1945, but the example of how they have lived their lives since then. That is the greatness and grandeur of that generation.
As for Jim and Sam, they finally got the recognition they deserved. In May 2014, the Honors Flight Organization celebrated them and their service.
It was the best thing that happened to me. Everywhere we stopped, we were congratulated and thanked for our services. We were treated first class everywhere we went.
It kind of put a lump in our throat. See those little Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, 5 o'clock in the morning, come out there to welcome us, thank us. Seeing all this outlay of efforts to honor us is a lot.
And Jim and Sam Evans, 2 amazing veterans, 2 amazing brothers, are with us in our audience right now. Thank you both for your service to our country. We salute you. God bless you. What an amazing story.
Well, I think it's time now to pray for our veterans. I'm praying for myself, but I think the rest of us, those who serve, men and women, I see wounded warriors, people who are paralyzed, have lost limbs, lost their hearing, had steel plates put in their head because of injuries, IUDs and all the rest that they have encountered in combat. And you think that we've got World War II, and we have the Korean War, and then we have the Vietnam War, and then we have the Gulf War, and it looks like we've been at war, you know, forever. And it's still that way, and we need our men and women to serve to help us. So would you join me right now, wherever you are, on this Veterans Day to pray a special prayer for our veterans? And Father, we thank you for men and women who have had the courage to serve. Some were part of a draft, some have volunteered. Whatever, they've been in our armed forces, they have been in harm's way, and they have exhibited great bravery. And some have died, and some have been wounded, and some have been emotionally scarred. But whatever the problem, I pray, Lord, that you might visit them now with your blessing, and that you would let them know that a grateful nation is thankful that they served and what their service meant to all of us as citizens of this land. Bless them, God, on this Veterans Day. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Well, here at CBN, we're honoring our veterans of active duty and their families throughout the year with an outreach that we call Helping the Home Front. And if you're a 700 Club member, you're part of this outreach. Here's how we recently helped a Navy sailor and his wife.
Jason and Tiffany enjoy recognizing Veterans Day. They believe it's an opportunity to celebrate everyone who serves or has served in the military. Jason is a sailor on board the USS McFall.
I'm incredibly proud of him because he's just making a sacrifice, not just for the freedom of our nation, but also so that he can provide for us and have a better future.
Deployments are never easy on families, but when Jason is out to sea, he knows he can count on Tiffany to be strong.
Oh no, I think she does a great job. Even when she's down, she would do her best to keep herself up. I don't have to worry about her.
But the couple faced the biggest challenge of their lives when Tiffany developed an allergic reaction to nearly everything. She was diagnosed with a rare chronic immune deficiency disease.
It was just really hard, being sick, having a rare condition that is very hard to understand, and that makes you basically intolerant to a majority of the world around you. Food is becoming an issue, breathing, just when anyone gets near me because of their clothes or their shampoo or anything.
I feel that she's like very strong for even dealing with this and to keep going. I can see how tough it is.
Their leaders at Wave Church in Virginia Beach learned that Tiffany needed an infrared sauna that could help her immune system heal, but cost several $1,000s. Wave asked Helping the Home Front to step in.
But come on, let's welcome Jason and Tiffany.
Pastor Steve Kelly had a surprise for the couple at their Veterans Day service earlier this week.
First of all, I think we've got a gift card to Whole Foods for $400 that we want to present you with tonight. And honey, we've also got, this is pretty cool, a water filtration system for your entire house for clean water.
Whole house, yeah. All the water's going to be filtered.
Thanks to CBN.
Last thing is a heavenly heat sauna that detoxifies your whole system. And CBN have jumped in and said, we want to do that. The total value of everything for you guys tonight is $6,000. Isn't that awesome?
Turn around.
Oh, here it comes. Oh my gosh, look at that. Hey, that looks fantastic.
We love you guys. Thank you for your service. Yeah. Thank you. We honor you. We thank God for you. Amen.
Well, that's one more outreach that we're privileged to be involved in. And Wave Church here is just fantastic. Steve Kelly is a tremendous pastor. The congregation is marvelous. And we kind of work together. And what we do, Operation Homefront, is helping congregations meet the needs of hundreds of military families each month. You can make a difference if you want to help. It's 1-800-759-0700. If you want to say, my gift goes to helping the Homefront. They are military families who are, well, they're hurting financially because they don't get paid a lot of money and they have needs above and beyond what they get compensated for. So that's what we do, is to join with local congregations to say, let's help the Homefront. Wendy?
Well, still ahead, Bishop Dale Bronner joins us live. He has 20,000 members in his congregation. And coming up, he'll talk about how you can take charge of change in your life. That's later on today's 700 Club.
And welcome back to the 700 Club. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has urged American Jews to unite in their support for Israel. Netanyahu's fierce opposition to the Iranian nuclear deal divided U.S. Jewish groups and leaders. He told the Jewish Federations of North America Israel is the only nation in the region where the Christian population is growing and where gay rights are protected. He said he's working to make sure Orthodox, conservative, and Reform Jews can all feel at home in Israel. The largest school district in Maryland has voted not to have classes on one of the Islamic faith's major holidays next year. The Washington Post reports the Montgomery County School Board of Education voted 6-2 in support of scheduling a professional workday for teachers and administrators on September 12, 2016, when the Islamic holiday of Eid al-Adha could fall. The suburban Washington school system has more than 156,000 students. Remember, you can always get the latest from CBN News by going to our website. It's cbnnews.com. Pat and Wendy are back with more of the 700 Club. It's coming up right after this.
Introducing CBN Selah, a brand new Christian instrumental station from CBN Radio. Listen now at cbnradio.com.
Let me ask you, the word change, does that word rattle you? It doesn't have to. You can learn to take charge of the changes in your life and create your own destiny. Take a look.
It's been said that the only constant in life is change. Some changes are welcome and even refreshing, but others throw our lives into a tailspin. Pastor and author Dale Bronner says no matter what comes your way, your response determines whether you'll flourish or fail.
If you show me your daily routine, I will show you where you will be 10 years down the road.
In his new book, Change Your Trajectory, he shares how God's plan for our lives always includes change and how we can thrive through each transition.
And please welcome back to the 700 Club, the pastor of Word of Faith Family Worship Cathedral in Atlanta, Georgia, Bishop Dale Bronner. Bishop, good to see you.
Oh, great to be here.
I love the topic, change your trajectory. Tell me, why do people fear change so much?
Well, because it's the unknown. We fear the unknown. Every time that you have a change, it means that you're losing the status quo, life as you have known it. So it's just, it brings us out of our comfort zone and takes us into this area to where we have to trust God.
And you say that it's not so much change that upsets people, but transition. What's the difference?
Wow, that's a great question. Change is actually the event itself. But transition is the emotional, psychological, relational, and financial processing of the change. A person can lose their job, for example. That's an event that happens. It happened. You lost the job.
That's change.
But now the transition is coming home. How do you share that with your spouse? What do you say to your children? emotionally? How does that impact you now financially? So it's all of the intellectual, emotional, psychological, and financial processing of the change. That's what gets us, is the transition. It's the same thing that happens to a woman when she's having a baby. She goes in transition, she's birthing something. It's the most difficult time of labor, where she's opening up from 7 centimeters to 10 centimeters and 100% effacement. It is that transition where women turn to where they are least holy. But they're birthing something. They're birthing something. So there's a purpose. There is a reason to all of the madness.
Right. Well, none of us likes to be out of our comfort zone, and that's why we really don't like change that much. But why is being out of our comfort zone actually good for us?
It's really good for us because it forces us to grow. It allows us to discover something in us that we will not have known. So the Holy Spirit always dwells riches for us right outside of the comfort zone. Victory is always on the other side of inconvenience and uncomfortable. So if we're able to do that, if we're able to press our way through the discomfort of being out of the comfort zone, we discover new talents, new abilities, new creativities, dreams, visions, capped capacities, and all kinds of incredible potentials that's in our life.
And Bishop, you say if we do this successfully, if we don't totally resist the change and go through the transition well, this can actually impact our destiny.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Destiny is where we ultimately headed. And nobody's trajectory stays the same. It's a changing thing. We are no longer on just a changing landscape. It's like a changing seascape. Everything around us is changing. And the more change that happens in our world, we're dealing with sociological change, technological change, economic change, environmental change, political change. All of this change, the more that our world changes, the more that our anchors have to go deep in God, who never changes. And that's what he said. He never changes. Jesus Christ the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Hebrews 13:8.
Why do you say in your book that God's answer to every problem is a person?
Wow, that's a great question. I really believe that with all of my heart. You think about it. When there was a problem of slavery in Egypt, God did not get a group of lawyers to create an Emancipation Proclamation. He raised up a person, Moses. When the walls of Jerusalem were in ruin, he raised up a person, Nehemiah. God's answer to every problem is a person. Our peace doesn't come from a syringe. It doesn't come from a bottle. It's a person. He's called the Prince of Peace. So whenever there was a problem, God always raised up a person with a God-given vision, a divine solution. So the answer is not money. It's a person who has the ideas for how to get the money. So God's answer to every problem ultimately is a person.
Wow. Well, what role does vision play in shaping our destiny?
Oh, wow. You know, vision helps us to see what the finished product is. God is the kind of God, Isaiah 46, verse 10, who declares the end of a thing from the beginning thereof. It's our blueprint that shows us how to build, how to make these things according to the design that God showed us. Vision is one of the most incredible opportunities of every leader. And the second one is courage. You got vision to see it and courage to do it.
Well, you're not only a pastor of a great church in Atlanta, but you run a very successful business. You're from a very highly successful family, but I'm sure you have gone through many, many transitions and many changes in your life, and and you've done it well. I mean, so now you're telling us what is the key, the main thing you would say to people going through that uncomfortable transition right now, or even a change.
Right. It's not what we're coming from, it's what we're going to. What was greater than coming from Egypt was being delivered to the promised land. And so I've enjoyed it. It's been a great, fascinating journey. I'm excited about what my next level is going to be. Every age of life has its own glory with it. And so I'm just blessed to be in the age and stage where I am right now.
That's right. He takes us from glory to glory,
yes,
right?
He does. Absolutely.
Well, this is a great topic and a great book, Change Your Trajectory. I have a hard time with that word. And it's available wherever books are sold. Bishop Bronner, thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more of the 700 Club after this. Just a quick reminder that we have a holiday recipe contest running on our Facebook page, and today is your last chance to enter. Just visit us at facebook.com/700club and submit your favorite recipe. The winning recipe will be featured right here on the 700 Club this Friday, November 13th. So head over to facebook.com/700club. The deadline for entries is midnight tonight, and I hope we get to eat whatever it is.
I'm sure we will definitely eat it, whatever it is. Not bugs. We're not going to have baked bugs. All right, what do you got?
All right, this viewer writes in, I grew up in a half atheist paternal side, half Christian mate on the other side. I was brought up in church, but lost my way in my teens and early 20s. I've recently found my way back into church and have become a stronger Christian. My fiance and I are planning our Christian wedding for next year, and I'm torn about whether some family members should be involved and invited. If I do invite them, it will feel like something is missing, and I fear those relationships will be broken. What should I do?
Well, what's the big deal about inviting some family members to your wedding? I mean, you know, let them come to your wedding and see what's there, but you don't want them bringing Satanism into your wedding or some occult incantation. So by all means, invite your family.
But if they're just atheists, maybe they'll get saved at the wedding.
Exactly. So, I mean, let them come enjoy your wedding. I wish we had more time for questions, but we had more time talking about how to eat bugs and live under tents. So,
you know, Reggie and Dina, they actually saute those bugs in olive oil and eat them.
Saute
yeah.
them in it. Well, it just shows how sick you can get. Well, we leave you with today's Power Minute from James. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all freely and without reproach, and it will be given to him. For Wendy and all of us, this is Pat Robertson. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.